I designed my first website 20 years ago. Yes. And in that time, a lot has changed. But and the basis of a website has not really. So I'm just going to run you through how to think about designing a website today. So, first of all, we have to design for what is your story and are you selling something? Are you promoting a cause? Are you showing people your art? What is it you're doing? We communicate mainly with words. I'm talking to you today with words. So the fundamentals are get down your message, make sure it's clear, get your intentions clear, make sure everything on your site is clear. You are designing for the lowest common denominator, which is probably a small device with barely any connection. So that's what you're doing. So if you've got video, if you've got jazzy scripts running all over the place, if you've got extensive songs, think about how somebody's going to view it on a device. Will they still arrive and do what you need them to do? Can they do whatever it is you're offering, even in those circumstances? You don't know how your page is going to render at all, because the last count, Android devices, there was 20,000 of them alone, each one rendering slightly differently. Can somebody turn up to your site and do exactly what they came for, regardless if part of it breaks? Think of it like an escalator. Can people still get upstairs if the escalator's not moving? Or have you designed a lift or a paternoster or something? Just think about that. Also, even before you think about your website, you might think you want one or you need one, but perhaps you just need a Facebook page or an Instagram account or a Twitter feed. Perhaps you just don't need what you think you need, because a website think of it as a living thing. That's what you want to do. You can build community on there, but you can also do these things now on social media channels. So basically, communication is key. The first thing you need to do when you're thinking about it is your content. And now you might think, ooh, loads of pretty pictures. Great. I mean, as is art, so is poetry. Beautiful, beautiful artwork you might want to put up there, but make sure it's relevant. If it's just jizzy pictures to jazz up your website next to some text and you haven't really thought about it, and the pictures there are a stock picture of people in a boardroom or someone sitting by their computer or someone reading a book, and it doesn't bring anything to it, think, why is it there? I recently put up an about page on my website and it gets a lot more hits than I ever imagined, because people are curious about other people. We want to know other people's stories. We want to hear, why are people here? What's happening? And we need to hear it succinctly. People can't be bothered to read pages and pages and pages. Ironic, because I keep a blog that's pages and pages long. But basically I'm writing for other computer scientists, like myself, who have the time and energy to read great big reams of words. But that's not normally the case. If you're selling me something or you want me to donate, make sure that's super clear in the structure of your website. So you take your content, make sure it's fresh and clean, and you'll probably need a lot less text than you think you do, and then structure it really carefully so that every page that you have, when people turn up, they can say, where am I? Where have I been? Where am I going? Great questions for life, great questions for your website. And then, if anything is not consistent in tone or appearance, if you go off to a dodgy bit of website, people have to trust your site, especially if you're going to get them to pony up some cash. So make sure it looks professional, it looks tidy, it looks clean, and you haven't got some random bits all over the place. Because unless they know you, they might not trust your site. So they have to know you, which a good, nice, clean picture and a bio, and you have to know them. This is a fundamental rule of designing anything. Absolutely know your user, know who they are. You might think you do, but get out there, get to know if people want your service, if people want your website, if people want your artwork, if people are going to support your cause. Just know who you're dealing with. There are millions of techniques. You can Google all of them. I put them all on my blog that's related to this. You've got user profiles, user cases, user scenarios, and you can make these up yourself. You can go, what is the likely scenario of someone coming to my website? They're going to come in, they're going to buy, they're going to donate to my cause. I need a big button at the top. Know them inside out and don't assume anything. My favourite example of this is the My Little Pony conference website. You might think, oh, that's targeted at 10-year-old girls, but actually no. The biggest attender of the My Little Pony conference, or there was a few years ago, 20-something males who live in California. So you might think you know your target audience, but you just don't. So design for as many people as you can, but bear in mind you have a specific user group. Make sure your site is well structured with your content, with views, and make sure it's got HTML5 and CSS3. Make sure it's accessible, because if you design well according to web standards, it will render on most devices. It will also cover people who read your site differently, perhaps with a screen reader or some other device that you don't know about. But make sure it's as clean and tidy as possible. Don't be hacking away with random bits of code. And then social media. Okay, so you've decided you're going to keep your website. So how are you going to share new content? And where else do your people hang out? Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Make sure when you roll out to these different social media channels that you are, one, measuring them, and that you are getting people to come to your site to do whatever it is you want to do. That's how you should be doing it. Measure, 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 measure. And while you're measuring your social media, also measure your website. Look at your web stats, see what pages don't work, which pages are stickier than others, which pages could do with a tidy up. You can get 1 billion. I run on WordPress. WordPress runs 25% of the web now. It's quite fabulous. But most of these content management software platforms like WordPress have lots of plugins that you can do to manage your how your text is performing, how your keywords are performing. You could get really into it, but the main thing to do is to just figure out how you're getting people to your site, and are you keeping people there, and are they doing the thing that you want them to do when they get there. The other thing to do is not just measure and evaluate and look at people as like to suck them in, but think really about, if you're offering a service, if you're offering something, it's about community really. And money, I like to think of money as an energy exchange. I like to get a bit woo-woo hippie about it, but really, you know what, if you're putting something out there brilliantly and you're going to take money off people, you've got to treat them nicely and treat them like proper customers, in the same way as if they would put the money in your hand. You just say thank you, and you treat them well, and you reassure them they're going to get whatever it is that you're selling. And just, it takes time to build community online and offline. It takes time to get to know people, but if you're really in it for the long haul with your website, it's worth getting to know the people who you're dealing with through your website. There's nothing as rewarding as being surrounded by just lovely people who support you and help you, and whom you can help with whatever service that you have. And that's fundamentally the goal, is to design a lovely website that you can connect with people and enrich their lives and yours. Thank you.